look out in the ocean and you see these millions of square miles, and you start to calculate up how much energy you could go and get.
Device.
It was very exciting.
The ocean throw at it whatever it would throw at it and actually have it produce the power that we would predict.
If states generate power from those waves.
Ladies and gentlemen, what if I tell you the next billion-dollar AI company may not build its data centers on land, not even in Silicon Valley, and not even in China or Dubai, but in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Captain fully submerged.
Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what an American startup called Panthalassa is trying to do. And the shocking part is, some of the world's biggest investors are betting billions of dollars into this idea.
Waves come from wind, wind comes from sun, and by the time it's in the wave,
Including Peter Thiel, the billionaire who invested early in Facebook, the co-founder of Palantir, and one of the Silicon Valley's most powerful investors.
Clearly, there's tons of energy that is being driven through the system.
We've got these graphs starting to show.
Recently, Panthalassa raised $140 million not to build an AI chatbot and not to build another social media app, but to build floating AI data centers powered entirely by ocean waves. No electricity grid, no land, no power plant, in fact, no cooling systems. Just the ocean. Why would investors put hundreds of millions of dollars into such a crazy idea? And more importantly, what problem are they trying to solve? Because behind this strange startup lies one of the biggest business opportunities of the AI era. And once you understand it, you will realize this is not just an ocean story, it's a story about the future of power, technology, and global dominance. So let's understand the fascinating business case study of Panthalassa.
The ambition is to replace all fossil fuel generated power and fuel with renewable power and fuel. As far as I know, our technology is the first one that can do that for the whole world.
Guys, everyone today is talking about AI, ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude, and hundreds of AI startups. But very few people are asking an important question. What powers AI? Because AI is not magic. Every AI response comes from giant data centers, thousands of powerful computer chips running 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and these machines consume enormous amounts of electricity. In fact, some estimates suggest that AI data centers could consume more electricity than many countries. Just think about that. Every time millions of people ask AI a question, somewhere huge servers are working non-stop. Now here is the problem. The world is running out of power infrastructure. Power grids are overloaded, land is becoming expensive, cooling systems consume huge amount of water. Governments are delaying approvals, communities are protesting against massive data centers, and AI companies, they need more computing power every single year. This is where Panthalassa saw an opportunity, not a technology opportunity, a business opportunity. Because every great startup starts with one thing, a painful problem. And the bigger the problem, the bigger the company. Now, most people will think about this AI energy crisis. Let's build more power plants. Others said, let's build nuclear reactors. So in fact, some may focus on solar energy. But the founders of Panthalassa asked a completely different question. What if the problem isn't the energy source? What if the problem is the location? And what if data centers shouldn't be on land at all? And that's when they looked at something covering more than 70% of our planet, the ocean. For centuries, humans have used the ocean for trade, transportation, fishing, military power. But one thing remained largely untouched. It's energy. The founders believed that the ocean contains enormous amounts of unused energy. Unlike solar power, waves don't disappear at night. Unlike wind, ocean waves remain relatively constant. And unlike land-based infrastructure, the ocean has almost unlimited space. Suddenly, the idea started making sense. Instead of bringing power to the computers, what if we bring computers to the power? And that single thought changed everything. Now let's understand how Panthalassa actually works. And don't worry, we will keep it simple. Imagine a giant floating structure in the ocean, almost like a massive steel tower. As ocean waves move up and down, the structure also moves. This movement pushes water through turbines and the turbines generate electricity. Very similar to how hydroelectric dams generate power. Okay. Most wave energy companies try to send electricity back to land, and that's expensive because underwater cables cost billions. Maintenance is difficult and energy gets lost during transmission. Panthalassa decided to skip this entire process. Instead of transmitting electricity, they transmit data. Guys, think about that. It's literally genius. Generate electricity in the ocean, run AI servers right there, use cold seawater to cool the computers, and send AI responses back through satellites. No power grid required, no cooling towers required, no giant land purchases required. This is why many investors became interested, because Panthalassa isn't just building an AI company, it's building a completely new category: ocean-powered AI infrastructure. Now you might ask, if this idea is so risky, why are billionaires investing? Well, the answer lies in one word: scale. Let's understand this. AI demand is exploding. Every company wants AI, every government wants AI, and in fact, every startup wants AI. But there is a bottleneck: computing power. The companies that control computing power may control the next phase of the AI economy. That is exactly why investors like Peter Thiel became interested. Because if Panthalassa succeeds, it won't just be another energy company, it could become the infrastructure layer of AI. Similar to how Amazon became the infrastructure layer of the internet through AWS. And infrastructure businesses are incredibly powerful because once people depend on them, they become very difficult to replace. Most people only see the opportunity, very few see the risks. The ocean is one of the harshest environment on earth. Saltwater destroys metal. Storms can destroy infrastructure. Maintenance is expensive. Communication delays can happen. Equipment failures become difficult to fix. And then there is another challenge: trust. Will companies trust their AI workloads to floating machines in the middle of the ocean? Nobody knows. Because this model has never been tested at a large commercial scale. This is why Panthalassa is one of the most fascinating startup bets in the world today. The rewards are huge, but the risks are equally huge. And that's exactly how disruptive innovation works. Okay, now let's step back for a moment, because the most important lesson isn't about oceans or AI, and not even about data centers. The real lesson is about thinking differently. And that's what separates great startups from average startups. They don't just solve problem, they redefine the problem. Look at Uber. They didn't build more taxis, they redefined transportation. Airbnb didn't build hotels, they redefined hospitality. And Panthalassa, they are trying to redefine infrastructure itself. Whether they succeed or fail, the thinking process is worth studying. Because innovation often looks ridiculous in the beginning until it becomes obvious. Today, Panthalassa is still a startup. Its future remains uncertain. In fact, its technology needs to prove itself. Its business model still faces enormous challenges. But one thing is clear: the AI revolution is creating new problems, and wherever new problems appear, new billion-dollar opportunities emerge. Maybe Panthalassa becomes the future of the AI infrastructure, or maybe it fails completely. Nobody knows. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.